Anyway, speaking of people who feel like they've been wronged, James Mangold. He has been doing a lot of interviews lately because obviously he has Indiana Jones coming out at the end of this week. Um, so people have been interviewing him, and he's been asked, "What do you think of Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3?" Now, for those who don't know, James Mangold directed probably one of the greatest comic book films of all time, which is Logan. And that was really supposed to be Hugh Jackman's swan song. See you later, never doing Wolverine again. And it was that for years. He was never going to do Wolverine again until Ryan Reynolds came to him and said, "How about you come with me and we make possibly the best comic book film of all time with Wolverine and Deadpool?" So he's not going to say no to that. And I feel like when Hugh Jackman said no to returning as Wolverine, I feel like he felt he'd done everything he could do. But then after that, after Logan came out, Disney was looking into acquiring Fox. So I feel like Hugh Jackman now, his eyes have been opened and he can see all this stuff that he can do. And, all these little, while he's still got it in him, while he can still play in this sandbox for just a little bit longer, maybe he might get a chance at meeting Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He might get to, play with Chris Hemsworth as Thor. But I think the thing he wanted to do the most was Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and him, which was possible before because they were both Fox, but I feel like he was a bit done in 2017. But James Mangold, he says he feels betrayed by Hugh Jackman for doing this. What do you think? Do you think Hugh Jackman's betrayed him, or what?
No.
Definitely
I
not.
feel like he's just saying that because the comic book, fandom of all, people who are really into comic books and stuff. It's a big thing now. Like, look at, Avengers Endgame is made the most money. I mean, until Avatar, sort of got it back. But I'm just saying, there's loads of eyes on this. Like, comic book movies are a part of today's, comic book movies are constantly trending.
There's like one every 6 weeks. Something
It's the
comic book
big
related.
it's the biggest genre I think probably in the world when it comes to movies, and so obviously with James Mangold, I liked the Wolverine. It was okay. It
I
wasn't.
thought it was okay. He's done some
Yeah, it was.
great stuff before that as well, though.
Yeah, I've not
Yeah.
seen anything other than the two Wolverine films he did, which the Wolverine and Logan. I agree with you. I think Logan's phenomenal. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just fucking amazing. Um, and obviously, Hugh Jackman's coming back now, and he's gone on out and said, "Oh, I feel betrayed." Sam Raimi didn't say that when Tobey Maguire came back. I'm
No,
pretty sure Mark Webb didn't say that when Andrew came back.
no.
And they James Mangold got to do what he wanted to do with the character and end the character in a really great way. Just ended it
Yeah,
in like the perfect way possible. Toby and Sam Raimi didn't get that treatment.
no.
They got fucked over in the third film, and then they weren't allowed to make a
Yeah.
fourth.
Third and second film,
Andrew,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew didn't even had no, like, Mark Webb had no control over his second movie, um, and then they didn't even get a third movie. So if he's wanting to go out and say, "Oh, they've been betrayed," it's like no, like, you've not really been betrayed, mate.
I
You've
put
had you've had a really good run with it. It was a short run, but you ended that character really well, and they're just doing something different.
amazingly, like I said, one of the best comic book films of all time.
And it's not going to affect what he did in that
No,
film with
it
that film.
it's
That,
Logan.
that, that
Yeah, Logan will be Logan, and it always will be Logan, and it will go down as. I find it hard to find a film that will top Logan in the greatest comic book film. Because we had it. Back when Logan came out, it was like, right, out of the three studios, Fox's best is definitely Logan. Um, DC's best is definitely The Dark Knight. You got to think this is 2017 at the time when that came out, so opinions might have changed now. And I'm pretty sure we were, for me, it was 2017, and the first Avengers film was, yeah, Winter Soldier is my favourite MCU film and possibly one of my favourite Marvel films of all time and favourite film of all time, Winter Soldier is. But when it comes to comic book film, if speaking about it in that terms, then I put Avengers there just for nostalgia purpose out of Disney Studio. Now, Logan will be Logan. I say this, I don't want to put words in people's mouth or anything like that. Do you think, because he wouldn't be speaking out unless it bothered him, which it clearly does, do you think he might be bothered that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine will not always be remembered as his version, which he sent off perfectly, and he's actually quite worried that they're going to do an even better version in Deadpool 3 that he's going to be remembered for more?
Well, here's the thing though. The possibility since Fox has been bought by Disney, and obviously, they're doing multiversal stuff. The possible, when they were teasing it, even back then when we had like teasers and rumors and stuff, but they're going multiversal. It was a possibility. Do you know what I mean? I I don't feel sorry for James Mangold, and I don't get why he's kind of whining. Let's be honest. There's no need for saying like, oh, I've been betrayed by Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's just the actor. Like, yeah, he's Wolverine. He's been Wolverine for many, many years.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not like it's gonna affect him in any way. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people will agree with us. Logan is one of the best movies of all time, and it was like, comic wise, and in
Even
some
movie,
people's
even
even
movie wise,
even
yeah.
movie wise. That's what I'm saying. So him saying that, it's just like, oh, it's like he wants a part of it, if anything,
Yeah.
because he's
Now,
doing a comic book movie, and we've had characters come back before.
yeah, if you really want to speak about digging characters up, and putting them on screen for way too long, what's he being interviewed for right now? What's he directing? Indiana Jones. I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Indiana Jones. But if it is a character that should have been put to bed, it's Indiana Jones.
yeah, exactly. It's like the original directors for the older Indiana Jones, even fucking Crystal Skull.
Well, I'm pretty
You
sure it
know,
was all Spielberg, but Mangold, Spielberg was supposed to do Dial of Destiny, but passed it on to Mangold.
well, that's the thing, though. I mean, the previous directors or whatever, they probably thought, oh, I've ended the character well. It's just stupid. I mean, I get it in the sense of, yeah, you've ended this character and you've done it in your way, and you feel like, they've kind
Yeah.
of dug him out of the grave, and it's like, it's not like that. This is not going to be the same Logan. Like,
Well,
Deadpool's not going to be getting a shovel and picking him out of that universe.
the
It's going to be
first thing,
completely
yeah,
different.
the first thing they said in their video, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, is, "Don't worry, this won't affect Logan."
Yeah,
That's one of the first
exactly.
things they said, and I feel like maybe he's having a little bit of a whinge and he's going on about it. But if he'd have just kept his mouth shut, let's say Deadpool 3 came out, and let's say Deadpool 3 was atrocious, one of the worst films of the year next year, getting clowned on constantly. If he'd have kept quiet, he could have just been like, stayed in his own head, like, well, see, and then he could have come out later and said, yeah, I think that was a bad idea.
I honestly think he's just doing it just for a bit of attention. You don't hear James Mangold's name you know, you don't hear it as often as it well deserved. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
should
because he's a
should
phenomenal
be.
director. He really
Yeah, I
is.
know, but he don't get talked about enough, and I feel like this is
Ford v
just a play of
Ferrari.
that.
I'm excited for his Star Wars film coming up. And I'm pretty sure he said in the same interview as well, because he's going to be directing Swamp Thing for the new DC studios. He says, "Oh, I see Swamp Thing as a singular film, but I know the studio has plans for it after." Well, why can't you have the same mindset for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
There you go.
It's not his property. Yes, he's going to feel a little bit of ownership over it. Yes, if this was me, I'd probably be a little bit, upset about it as well. You're bound to be. you
But
know,
here's the thing: it's not continuing Logan. It's not rectifying anything that happens in his films. Um, the Wolverine we're going to see is going to be very different. It's going to be the most comic accurate Wolverine I think we've ever seen. He's probably going to have the yellow suit and everything.
well, they're gonna
It's
kneecap Hugh Jackman.
kneecap Hugh Jackman. Jesus Christ! But it's not going to be the same. Like he's going to be wearing the costume and the suit and things. That's. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that.
Yeah,
Um, the Wolverine that was that he directed wasn't really even his Wolverine. It you know it it started with the X-Men films. Someone else chose him to be Wolverine.
yeah,
He was just someone who ended that character's story, and he did it so well. But for him to say like, oh, he's my character and I've been betrayed now because he's coming back. Hugh Jackman's coming back, playing a different version of Wolverine, which is gonna be the case. It's gonna like I'm 90% sure it's gonna be a comic accurate Wolverine.
yeah. Now,
It yeah.
with all this being said, I don't want to leave like a bit of taste in our mouth against James Mangold because I love his films. I love him as a director. Like I said earlier, I'm excited for his Star Wars film. I'm excited for Indiana Jones. I'm excited for Swamp Thing. So, we'll just have to leave it at that. It's just I really wish he didn't say this
I think it's just a
because
marketing
it
thing,
puts
to
a
be
little bit
honest.
of a sour taste in people's mouths. So yeah, maybe it is a big marketing film thing, and then he's going to show up in Deadpool 3 and Logan's going to cut his head off or something. But anyway,